We're in the Lab 3 Matrix System Lab. In this lab, you're going to learn 4 different activities. So the matrix system is a pretty well known and used system in most of the world. It's just in America we use a different system. So the first activity is you need to know the metric base unit. The length, like they like to use the meter, centimeter, and these are the basic units. And for the mass, they like to use the gram, kilogram, and the volumes, liter, milliliter, and these are the basic units. So I can give you which of the following unit is used to measure the length, and you pick the correct one. So you need to know this unit measure what. And the prefix. Prefix is a way to identify their real size, real volume, like milliliter. What does milli means? Milli means 1/1000. So milliliter is actually take a liter and divide by 1,000 times. So 1 milliliter is 1/1000 of liter. And the same as the millimeter. Millimeter is a meter divided by 1,000 times. And we have the centi, we have the kilo. Okay, what's kilogram? Kilo means 1,000. So 1 kilogram is actually 1,000 times gram. It's 1,000 gram. And in biological system, sometimes you can see the micro. So micro, because we use a microscope, there's the reason we call it microscope, because micro is 1/10⁻⁶. It's pretty small, so you could not see the bacteria with your naked eye, the cell with your naked eye, because it's in the micrometer range. It's 1 divided by 10⁶ times. And nano, sometimes you see in the engineer, they measure the wavelengths of the light. It's a nanometer. Nano is 10⁻⁹, so it's 90. So it's pretty small range. So first, be familiar with those prefix. And the next activity, scientific notation. And in the science, okay, we want to put all the number into a specific form we call the scientific notation. It's based on the number multiplied 10 to how many exponent. Put it in this way, well, every kind of number you can put it in this, no matter how big or how small. So there's a range of the number. The number need to be bigger than 1. So you cannot put 0.9 multiply 10 to minus something. So you need to be bigger than 1. So it can be 1, can be 1.01. And this could not be bigger than 10. So it can be 9.9. So this number is between 1 to 9.99. Bigger than 1, smaller than 10. And 10 to how many exponent. So for example, I will give you a number during the test. I'll give you a number and ask you to turn it to the scientific notation. So like 673. How to turn it into the scientific notation? And this one is 673. Sometimes it's easier to think it this way. So it's 6.7300, right? And how to turn this into the scientific notation? Okay, we start from the decimal point. The way I do it is we start from the decimal point. Decimal point is here. And now you walk to the left, right? So now you walk 1, every time it's 1, walk to the left. So 67.3, not done yet, because this number need to be smaller than 10, and walk 2. So it's 6.73 multiplied 10 to 2 times. So that's the scientific notation. So if I ask you what's this number, and correct number is 6.73, and what's this number, it would be 2. So 6.73 multiplied 10 to 2 times. And what if the number is smaller? 0.0042. So we still start from the decimal point. That's the way I do it. Start from the decimal point. This is here. Now we walk to the right. So every time you take one step, minus 1. One more step, minus 2. So we're not done here, right? Because if we stop here, it's 0.42. Is the number need to be bigger than 1, right? So take one more step. minus 3. So now we're correct because it's 4.2. So we stop here. We found the first number is 4.2 and multiply 10 to minus 3 because we step 3 times to the right. So that's how we do the scientific notation. In this case, no matter how big, how small the number is, we can always put into a small space and do the scientific notation. So remember, every time you walk to the left, you plus 1, you walk to the right, you minus 1. And you also need to be able to calculate the metric conversion. And this part will really help you when you go to the nursing school, take a class called the dosage. It's very important. You need to master dosage. As a nurse, you need to be able to transfer one unit into the other unit. So one example, okay, this person, blood sugar, glucose level, blood sugar, that's blood glucose, 120 milligram per decimal liter. In a clinical field, they like to use the decimal liter, DL. And this is 1 over the 10th of a liter, so it's 100 ml. They're gonna transfer it to milliliter. Okay, so this is the original unit, 120 milligram per decimal liter. You want to transfer them to milliliter. So what do? We found we want to transfer the decimal liter into milliliter. So we found the decimal liter, we want to cross this out. And we find the transfer unit, the decimal liter, put into the numerator, because now the numerator and denominator can cross out. And we put a milliliter, that's what we want, in the denominator. And then you just go to the table, you found, okay, 1 decimal liter equal to 100 milliliter. Okay? And you create this kind of equation, and now you can cross out the decimal liter. And the unit you have is milligram of glucose per milliliter, and the rest of them is math. So it's 120 divided by 100. And if you do it this way, no matter how many times you need to transfer, you keep doing the same way. You put the one you want to cross out in the numerator, the one numerator, denominator you want to cross out, you put the one in the numerator, and the one you want to keep in the denominator, and you cross out the unit, and all the rest is math. And then the unit will be correct, milligram per milliliter. And by doing it this way, we can make it a little bit more complicated. Say this person, okay, is 5'5", and is 65 inches. We're gonna turn those inches into centimeter. Would you be able to do that? Well, yeah. So we take 65 inches. And first, we want to turn the inches into centimeter, right? Okay, so this time we want to cross inches out. Inch is this time is in the numerator. So we put the inch in the denominator because now they can cross out. So we found 1 inch equal to 2.54 centimeter. So we can cross these two out, and the rest of them is math because the unit becomes centimeter. And you take 65 multiply 2.54, and that's how many centimeter. And we say, well, nobody say your height in centimeter. We say it in meter. Okay, we don't want to transfer the centimeter in meter. And again, we transfer this into meter because 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. So we put the centimeter, we want to cross it out. So 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. Now the numerator, denominator cross out, and all you have left is meter. So we found we put all these three together. We can do it in one step, transfer inch into meter, because inch cross out, centimeter cross out. So we can do it systematically to turn one unit into the other. And the last one is transfer the Fahrenheit into Celsius. So that's the equation. So I can give you a Fahrenheit, you follow this equation, turn into the Celsius. Or I give you a Celsius, it turns into the Fahrenheit. Okay, that's it.